I know I'm a bit late to the party, but today I'll finally be trying Black Ops 1 Plutonium. Now, unlike Black Ops 2 Plutonium, which we already tried previously, which did have a lot of players playing, it's just that it seemed like there was more servers, or at least players spread out throughout those servers, so it made it seem like the player count was thin across the lobbies, but it really wasn't. Again, it was just spread across more lobbies, whereas here in Black Ops 1 Plutonium, it seems like the players are more compact into the servers, if that makes sense. Like, they're more, like, it's more likely that there's gonna be more players in one server, but it also means that there's less servers overall. Like, there's only 20-some servers, whereas in Black Ops 1, or Black Ops 2, there was like literal hundreds, it seemed like. One other unfortunate thing worth mentioning is that the pings are a little out there, man. So even though these are US servers, I mean, the lowest ones are in like the 200s even, so we have a couple different things going here. You know, you got some gun games. This one here, what's this? I don't know what this means either, this little VAC symbol. Got some dominations going on, TDMs, nameless noobs, 24/7 Nuketown. I mean, you know what, just for the sake of it, just to kind of get a feel for the game mode, I feel, actually, no, yeah, we want to go with Nuketown because this one has a 54 ping. Also, the Catnet ones also have a low ping as well, so we're going to start out with Nuketown just to get a kind of get a feel for Plutonium, because this is my actual first match that I'm going to be doing. I haven't played this yet, and as long as this goes well, playing on a familiar map, then we'll go ahead and branch out and try the Catnet ones out as well. Defeat, time limit reached. Dog, I literally just joined the game. Well, the name 24/7 wasn't lying. I loaded into the game ended, and it seems like we're literally just loading right back into it. If only Sledgehammer had a mode like this for shipment in MW3, you literally wouldn't be able to pull me away from that camo grind. Okay, so at first it seemed like there was actually real players in here, but now it seems like it might actually just be bots. So very similar to Black Ops 2 Plutonium, where if there's not enough players to fill up the lobby, it seems like at least in some instances, you know, they'll just be filled out with bots. But again, I'm really confused because it said there was like 8 players in here, so how, and why am I leveling up so fast, dude? I was literally just level 1, 2 kills in, I'm already level 3? Thankfully, the ping does feel really smooth, because that was one of my main concerns. Look, level 4 already, dog, I'm gonna be Master Prestige by the end of the day. That was one of my main concerns, though, just looking at the server browser and seeing how high those pings were, but again, thankfully, there was a few that seemed a bit lower. Also, wait, check out our other servers for COD 4, World War, MW2, MW3, BO2, Ghost Advanced Warfare, MW Remastered, Minecraft, and Rust. Okay, so I guess there's servers for other games, even like Advanced Warfare and all that, which I have heard about before. I've also heard about the whole MW2 Remastered debacle with MW Remastered, so I really do want to check some of that stuff out at some point. I don't know if I could actually get in any trouble for playing MW2 Remastered, because I know the actual development team got sent a cease and desist. I just wouldn't want Activision to be like knocking on my door being like, hey homie, you have this illegal mod or whatever, which I don't think there's anything they can even do in that regard. And I feel like the most they could probably do is like falsely copyright claim my video, but even then that would be a messy look for them. Rocking out with the M16 here. Yeah, you know what? I mean, well, we've been in this match for long enough. I'm level 5, which means that I've actually made that level 6, so that means that I have access to create a class. So we're gonna go ahead and back out of the game, make a custom class, and we'll see if we can find lobbies with real players. Man, I miss Black Ops 1 so much. You got the contracts there, and then the create a class. Oh, I love it so much. You pull it up, and you're able to, like, preview what your character's gonna look like with all the different factions. You put the face paint on. This was also peak COD points, might I add, because, you know, like, Black Ops 3 and all that, like, basically, Black Ops 3 onwards, you have to pay for COD points. Here in Black Ops 1, you earn them through in-game progression, you know, but whether it be through completing contracts, or whether it be through doing, like, wager matches and all that. It was such a better system. Obviously, I understand why they do it the way that they do it nowadays, but, I mean, obviously, the way they did in Black Ops 1 was much more pro-consumer. HK-21's a good LMG and all, but, yeah, I'm gonna throw the RPK on there. Call me a noob all you want, but I love that weapon. Also for the M16. Again, oh, wait, yeah, what? Why is it, like, it's so finicky, man, the D-pad. The M16 is a fantastic weapon and all, but I don't know, man, I kind of want to rock out with, like, a full auto Enfield for a little bit. I'll throw, what do? I'll go ahead and throw a red dot sight on it. It's definitely not my controller. There's something about the controller support here in Plutonium. I don't know if it's just Plutonium or Black Ops 1 as a whole on PC, but it just seems a little wonky. Anyway, let's go back into the server browser here, and I want to look for the, yeah, the cat ones down here. So we'll join this TDM, because it says that there's 6 players in there, so I'm hoping they're real. As I'd mentioned in that Black Ops 2 Plutonium video, though, I don't necessarily care about, you know, playing against real players. My main concern is having that ability to go through the prestiges, unlock the weapons, unlock the camos and all that, because while I would prefer to play against real players, as long as there's a way to play the game in some way and still access that progression, even if it's against bots, that's what I care about at the very least, because, you know, you can always find a way to play with other people, whether it be YouTubers, you know, setting up events, or inviting your friends, telling them to get on. It's just one of those things where, like, you know, as the game gets older and older, there's gonna be less and less people playing it to a point where some days there might literally be no people playing it. And okay, yeah, this is unfortunate. Once again, we're just kind of tossed into here with bots. Okay, so I was being misled a little bit. As I said, on the Black Ops 2 Plutonium, I kind of preferred how that was set up because if there wasn't actual real players playing it, it would tell you. It would say, hey, there's no real players in here, but, you know, when you join it, you can still play against bots. Whereas here on Black Ops 1, it seems like it mistakes the bots as being real players. Regardless, we're here on the map Hanoi, and I've actually genuinely always loved this map. I don't know what the general consensus is on it, but I remember the first time that I played this map, or one of the first times I played on it, I was playing on PS3, I was running around with the MP5K, and I was just absolutely dominating, and I felt like such a G that day, man. I just got destroyed by a bot. TMI, this is a little disgusting. If stuff about noses grosses you out, maybe just like skip ahead a little bit. But for some reason, the last couple days, I don't know if it's like my allergies or if it's because it's getting colder out, but it seems like my sinuses or the mucus in my sinuses has been drying out because it hasn't been a thing where like my nose has been running. Because I mean, as you guys know, if you've seen my allergies, whenever they flare up during like springtime, summertime, or especially like fall time is when it seems to hit really bad. Like that late summer going into fall time, for some reason it flares up terribly around like September. But right now I'm having this really weird effect. So for those that don't know, I used to be a cigarette smoker. I smoked cigarettes for about 10 years and I quit back in February, thank goodness, which means that my 8-month anniversary, if you want to call that, of, you know, being clean from nicotine and cigarettes and all that is coming up October 26th, because I quit on February 26th. When you're a smoker, it's not uncommon to have a bunch of like goop and glop and tar in your sinuses and your throat, and to constantly need to do the old hawk and snort, where you like snort it back, hawk it up, and spit it out, just because, you know, it's nasty. You don't want to be swallowing all that. And, you know, with my allergies, sometimes it can kind of get like that, where that starts to flare back up. It's also worth mentioning that my lungs are still just naturally cleaning themselves out from the whole smoking thing, so it's possible that what I'm experiencing right now is linked to that in some way. I was not a light smoker by any means. There was a period of time where I was literally smoking 2+ packs per day, and I'm not even kidding about that. But the past couple days, I've had this weird thing where, again, it's sort of like the inverse of my nose being runny, and like, it's weird, like, I can feel like there's something in the back of my sinuses, and it's almost like going into the back of my throat, and I kind of have to, like, every so often do this passive, like, conscious, because, you know, obviously, normally when you're, like, swallowing your saliva, it's a very automatic, subconscious thing. You don't even have to think about it. But lately, it's been a bit of a conscious thing, where not for my saliva necessarily, but there's, like, this weird stuff in the back of my sinuses, and I have to consciously swallow it or do something about it. But it's at a point where it's like, it's not enough to do the old hawk and snort, because when I do the old hawk and snort, it's just saliva anyway, and it's not even worth it, because at that point I'm just kind of like drying my mouth out infinitely, because it just like keeps happening. So I don't know if there's like something dry back there, if maybe I should like do some Flonase, maybe to like liquidize it a little bit to maybe help me like blow it out into a tissue or something. I have no idea. It's really disgusting though, and I've had to like consciously just kind of like work it down. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like I have to do a snort and then get it down. I just gotta have to do like a very shallow breath to kind of just get it out of the back of my, back of my nose or my sinuses and swallow it. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry for all the people that I just absolutely disgusted. Bro, I just got 2v1. You guys know what I miss? I miss those old school Call of Duty commentaries where people would just start up a match and they would commentate over it, and there wouldn't be any fancy cuts or anything. I know this is really hypocritical because I've been literally doing this entire video, but that's just like my style of content nowadays. But because, you know, obviously people don't want to sit there watching the old school style of content where it's just like you start up a match, there's no cuts, and it's just, you know, you commentating as you get kills every so often. But like one of my favorite examples of that would have been Allier's live gameplay commentaries that he did during like Black Ops 2 specifically. I watched all of those. I forget how many he did in particular. It was almost 100 throughout the course of that year, but I remember there, like, it was always just some really random title that kind of correlated to something he said in the video. Like, I remember one of them was called Welcome to My Trap, and it was like a match of him using the MP7 on slums, and the Welcome to My Trap title literally just tied to like one part of the video where some guy ran into his bouncing Betty and he said, "Welcome to my trap," and like that was literally it. I just miss that era of content creation as well. You had some people that were rocking the face cam, some people that weren't, and you know, even for the people that were, the face cams were really low quality. They were kind of off center, and sometimes in the case of like Allier's old videos, he had like his little watermark on the side of his face cam, which, you know, that was always pretty cool looking. I mentioned this before, but I literally don't watch new YouTube anymore. Like, I can't stand the content that's coming out nowadays. It's all so brain rotty. None of it feels genuine, and like, you know, in the case of Allier, for example, like, I still watch his old content all the time. But, you know, and this is nothing against Allier. I just haven't had the chance to watch any of his new content in years. I know he went off and made a bunch of, like, Fortnite videos and stuff, and, you know, like, I watched some Fortnite content, because I used to play Fortnite all the time back in, like, 2017, 2018, like everybody else was at the time. I fell off sometime, like, probably midway, later half of 2018. But during that time, I watched, you know, I watched a little bit of, like, Ninja, for example, but outside of that, I didn't really watch much of anybody else, and even then, I was oh, and Muselk, I think his channel was. He was pretty good at the game as well. I'll go ahead and vote for Firing Range, why not? But I just can't stand, like, the new content creators nowadays. There's not really, like, there's a few that I watch, of course, and when I say a few, I mean, like, maybe 5 at most, maybe 6. But if I would go pull up my YouTube history right now from the last, like, I don't know, I want to say like 3-4 days, it's literally just like old Sky does Minecraft, Syndicate, Allier videos from like 2012, 2011, 2014, 2010, that time range, some from like 2009. You guys ever go back and watch old episodes of some of your favorite TV shows, or rewatch old movies, or like go watch old, dude, that dog, why was that bot using a rocket launcher? That's how it is for me. I just sort of rewatch old YouTube videos, and even then I go back and if, you know, if there happens to be certain videos from some of my favorite creators that I just didn't get the chance to watch back in the day, I'll watch them now, and those are pretty cool. Oh, and I've been watching a ton of like old Vanoss videos and stuff, which that is one of the creators I've kept up with. That's one of like the 6, maybe 7 at most, like creators that I watch. There's like 5 or 6 that I watch on a regular basis, and then like maybe like an extra one you could throw. I'm not naming names, but there's also like one other one that I'll watch on occasion. But otherwise, yeah, that's literally it. And one of the only reasons I still watch Vanoss is just because like him and his friend crew are like one of the. I mean, obviously there's been some controversies over the year, which we're not going to talk about now. But when it comes to like the main core crew, they've always been pretty grounded, pretty genuine. They didn't conform to the ideals of the algorithm or censoring themselves. They were just unapologetically themselves, even if it meant getting them, like, quote-unquote canceled in some way, which those are the type of people where they're uncancelable, because you can't cancel somebody that doesn't care about getting canceled. Like me, you'll never be able to cancel me because I don't care. I mean, granted, it's different when somebody does something absolutely heinous, like, again, not naming names or not saying anything in particular, but if somebody does something illegal or something that is just straight up, like, heinous and inhumane, yeah, you know, you can throw your cancel culture out there, and I don't care if they are quote-unquote uncancelable or not. I won't support them anymore, because, I mean, obviously, you're probably catching on to what I'm saying here, but unfortunately, a lot of creators are just disgusting. Oh, I got a double kill there, nice. That being said, when it comes to cancel culture in the general sense, when it's just like, oh man, it's time to cancel this person because they said some inflammatory thing on Twitter, or they said something in a YouTube video I don't agree with, like, what are we even talking about, dude? Sarah Connor, I'm coming for you. Ow. Okay, there goes my death machine. But anyways, yeah, it's unfortunate that I wasn't able to find any lobbies with real people yet again today. This might be one of those things where I really just need to try doing this, like, later in the day or something. Because, I record my videos in the morning, obviously, but, you know, in my own time, I might hop on one of these afternoons and see if maybe I can actually find real people. I'm pretty sure if I'd go into one of the servers that are, like, hosted in another country, I'd most definitely be able to actually find real people, because it seemed like there was players in the other ones, but at the same time, they were, like, 200, 300 ping, and at that point, it's just like, I don't know, like, sure, it might be somewhat playable, but to, like, what extent? 200 ping isn't so bad. It's just, like, the 300 plus. That's where it starts to get a little shaky. It's just awesome being able to play on here to where it's active to some extent, whether we're talking bots, whether we're talking players. Like, again, you have, like, some of these where they're even labeled as being bots, but it says there's 12 players in there, so, I don't know, but, you know, again, just having it be, like, playable to some extent where you can still come in here and create all your classes, interact with the contracts and kill streaks and stuff like that. I just absolutely love it. And, you know, I might have, well, one day when I have a bigger audience, maybe I could do one of those things where I set up like a fun event, like, hey, everybody get on Plutonium for the next like 24 hours on like Black Ops or Black Ops 2 or something. We could organize some kind of event. Obviously, this is a smaller channel, so there's not really a chance of anything too big happening from something like that. But one day, you know, maybe when we have like 10+K subscribers, if that ever ends up happening, which would be insane in itself, you know, maybe we could organize something like that, but we'll see. Regardless, I'm just glad that these things exist, and I'll have to look into some of the other ones, because again, obviously on Plutonium, we got BO1 and 2, MW3, and World of War, but then other ones exist for like MW Remastered, along with the MW2 Remastered mod, which, again, a little shaky on if I should check that out, but maybe I will at some point, as well as like Advanced Warfare and stuff, so I'll have to check those out at some point. But Black Ops 1 Plutonium, man, feels like 2010, 2011 all over again. It feels so good to be back. But anyway, as always, best shout out to all the Patrons and channel members to get on the little bullet tier, and a bigger shout out to on the big bullet tier. Milo asking Epic Daddy Manny, and the biggest shout out to on the G tier. Run events, some of the cheese girl. Thank you guys so much. You guys are literal legends. I love you. Good on you, Dodoki, arigatou gozaimasu. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.